This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Monday. Kevin Trudeau Show, everything they don't want you to know about to improve the quality of your life. We have a great show. I'm going to be taking your phone calls. So get ready, get buckled up. If you have a question about anything, get ready. We will be taking phone calls most of today's show. Couple things. We have a little chat there. We also have a subscribe button. So make sure you subscribe to the show, share the show, get the show out, hit the little bell. That way you get notifications when we put up new shows. All I can say is I'm going to be putting up a lot more short, updated shows on specific subjects. So there may be more than 2 shows a week. We'll be live 2 shows, live twice a week, Monday at 1 o'clock and Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Our next show is at Wednesday, then the following Monday, then the following Wednesday. That's how it goes. But there's a good chance also on Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, maybe even Saturday and Sunday, I may also do a show and post it. So make sure you hit the little bell button so you get the notifications of all the new shows, because we're putting together on this show not just subject material that's relevant to today, but subject material that's going to be helpful to you and relevant all the time. And if you haven't caught some of the previous shows, I highly encourage and recommend, if you want to improve the quality of your life, go and sit, binge watch the Kevin Trudeau Show, then share it with everybody, leave comments, and make sure you subscribe. The question is, and I'm going to ask you a question. What subjects do you want me to talk about on this show? I've gotten so many emails, people who are partners in the Kevin Trudeau fan club. They send emails all the time. We have people who are members in the Global Information Network. They communicate with me. They send me emails and communicate via Telegram or various methods depending on the level they're at. You get more access to me directly the higher level you are as a partner, and the higher level you are as a GIN member. You get more intimate connections with me. But the question is, what do you want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about extraterrestrials? Do you want me to talk about enlightenment? Do you want me to talk about relationships? Do you want me to talk about sex? Do you want me to talk about how the media is deceiving you? You want to talk about the CIA, MK Ultra? You want me to talk about some of the secret government programs that are going on around the world? You want to talk about health and nutrition? What would you like me to talk about? So we got a staff of guys over here and gals that are going to be looking in the chat right now. So you can go into the chat right now and just put a subject or something you'd like me to talk about, and they will be working like little beavers, busy bees. They'll be writing down and then presenting it to me, and we'll see if there's subjects that you want to talk about. Then I will bring them up over the next few weeks and few months. If there's somebody you want as a guest on my show, reach out, put that down. If you think that there's a show that I should be a guest on, put that in the chat as well. We're going to be taking full advantage of that. So, couple things. I just did a seminar on Saturday for members in the Global Information Network. It was a lengthy seminar, over 2 hours, and followed by a rally where we had many of the GIN members talk. That seminar was all about the details of how to get your brain waves broadcasting a lot less in the beta wave, which is the slave wave or the poverty wave, and get you to be broadcasting mostly in theta, alpha, or gamma. And if you do that, when you put out your intention for what you want or desire, it will manifest easier and faster. And I talked specifically about in the seminar exactly what you have to do and what all of the rich people have done and are doing so that they reduce the amount of beta waves they're broadcasting, that's the slave wave and the poverty wave, and increasing the amount of gamma, alpha and theta wave. Also, so that when they sleep, they get more into delta. You can see it there on the screen. That way they get deeper sleep, and that's longevity, more energy, happiness, joy, because your body rejuvenates when you sleep if you're in delta. I talked about this in a previous Kevin Trudeau show here. I gave a lot of details of that. If you haven't watched that episode, watch it. But I just did this seminar, and this seminar is a $5,000 seminar. The members in our club got it for free, but you had to be a full member in order to get it for free. Associate members didn't get it for free. The response, just within a few hours, was off the charts. People who have been members for over a decade, people who've gone through all the training and so forth, the way it was explained, they said, was unlike anything they've ever experienced. And the aha moments and the cognitions that people got, and the blowing of charge and the increase in awareness just by listening to the seminar, knowing now this is what they can easily do. That doesn't cost anything. There's over 50 things, I think, close to that I gave that you can do to decrease beta wave. In other words, decrease your poverty brainwave and your slave brainwave, to increase awareness and increase wealth virtually coming into your life much easier. In other words, why does the law of attraction seem to work so easily and effortlessly for some people, but for the majority, it doesn't work? When they follow all the principles in Think and Grow Rich or Ask and It Is Given, and they do this for decades. I was just talking to a fellow who teaches this subject. I mean, this is what he teaches. He worked with Tony Robbins. He's worked with Bob Proctor. He's an expert, quite frankly, on the subject. He's a good friend of mine, an author, a very successful speaker, an excellent articulator of the material. I mean, he knows this stuff, right? Well, he knows about this stuff because he called me and he said, I'm struggling. I'm not getting results. And he goes, it's always been that way. I think I'm applying it correctly, but Kevin, can you diagnose this? And look, there's nothing wrong with this. If you're a professional golfer, the greatest golfer, you have a coach, and you go to the coach and you say, look, can you look at my swing? Am I doing something that needs to be corrected or tweaked a little bit so I can be more consistent and play better? The top tennis players do this. The top musicians do this. They're clearly a better musician than their coach, a better tennis player than their coach, a better golfer than their coach. But the coach is looking at it from a different set of eyes and can maybe point out some things to that professional. So this person who's an expert in the law of attraction came to me and said, can you look and say, what am I doing wrong? And I explained this in the seminar, that there are 3 reasons why you're not manifesting goals, dreams, and desires. The first one is, if you think you know the recipe, if you think you know the procedure, the formula to make the law of attraction work, you're probably not applying it 100% correctly. You have changed the recipe or the formula. You think you're doing it correctly, but you're not. And when I look at people technically, and there are people in the Global Information Network or like this fellow, they teach this stuff. And I ask a couple basic questions, such as, tell me exactly what you want. And there's a hesitation. I think the way I would describe is to stop. You're not following the formula. The formula says, define your dream. That's right out of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Define your dream. Clearly define your dream. The formula is always the same. You have to know exactly, with specificity and clarity, what you want. You have to know what you want as clearly as you know your own name. And most people don't. And this one particular person said, I want to make a lot more money. No, that's vague. How much money do you want to make? So you have to have specificity. I asked, do you have a dream board or a vision board? No. Stop. You're not following the recipe. So the first reason why people don't manifest goals, dreams, and desires is they're not following the recipe. The second reason is their brain from birth is geared so that they broadcast on the slave wave and the poverty wave. They're broadcasting beta. This is genetic. Look, I'm sorry to tell you, it is genetic. Some people genetically are predisposed to be fat. It's in the genes. I mean, if you have a very obese man and a very obese woman who are obese from birth, and they have a child, that child is obese. And it has nothing to do with their diet or exercise. It's in the genes. Their insulin levels don't work as well. Their metabolism is lower. Their body converts sugars to fat faster than somebody else who's lean. Look, this is science. This isn't my opinion. This is what the scientists tell us. This is what the medical doctors tell us. This is what the research has proven to be true. It's in the genes. Success is also in the genes. Personality is in the genes. You take a very aggressive dog, male dog with a very aggressive female dog, and you breed them and they have a puppy. That puppy is an aggressive dog. You take a docile, sweet, loving little licker, Labrador dog, and you male, and you breed it with another very docile, rub my belly Labrador dog, and they have a puppy. It's the sweetest, most docile dog in the world, and that's how they breed dogs for service dogs. So personality is also in the genes. So if it's in the genes in animals, it's in the genes in us too. Success is also in the genes. Nobody really understood how this works. I teach this at length in the Success Mastery course to Global Information Network members. But one is the brain. And I just was on the phone this morning with a guy who's a brain expert. He looked at all my scans of my brain, the MRIs, and there's so many different kinds of scans you can look on the brain. And the bottom line is, if you take a whole bunch of brain images, I can tell you who is successful and who is unsuccessful by looking at the brain. What am I looking at? I'm looking at primarily the size of the hippocampus, which is a part of the brain, and whether the pineal gland is calcified. Those are the two major things I'm looking at. Next, when I look at brainwave frequency, if I just put something on the brain and saying, okay, they're broadcasting mostly beta, I know their income is low. If they're broadcasting on mostly alpha or theta or gamma, they're highly intelligent and their income is much higher. And then when I say I'm the psychic now, well, I'm not. I'm looking at the data. It's 100% correct. So the question is, if you're having a hard time activating the law of attraction, it's because your hippocampus is small, and this is genetic. But the good news is there are things that you can do that don't cost you any money, that can increase the size of the hippocampus, decalcify the pineal gland, which means you're going to be capable of broadcasting a lot less of the slave wave, the beta, a lot less of the poverty wave. Your happiness is going to go up. Your third eye is going to open. Miracles will happen in your life. Well, I just did this seminar and I gave all the details, every single one. The response was off the charts. And it's a $5,000 seminar. I'm going to give it to you. And when I recorded it, I said this is for Global Information Network members only. It's not for the general public. It's not for the general public. But I'm going to give it to you. And it was only for full members. I'm going to give it to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is just join the Global Information Network. And even if you just join for 1 month and quit, we will send it to you so you have it. Because this can change your life. And the membership in the Global Information Network is $38.95 for the first month. So that's all. So, okay, technically it's not for free. It's costing you $38.95. It's a $5,000 seminar. Plus you get Your Wish is Your Command. Plus you get a whole host of other training for $38.95. But this is very significant and important to you. It was, again, it's a $5,000 if somebody wanted to buy it. It was free for full members. You had to be a full member in the club, not just an associate, beginning member, trial member. But I'm going to give it to you for free if you want it. And I would encourage you to consider this. It's not going to be done forever, but it's available to you now. So you can just go to globalinformationnetwork.com, sign up. You also get a member support coach that will reach out to you. They're not a salesman. They're a high-level ranking member to help you understand how our website works and where all the information is. They can get on a Zoom call with you, walk you through it. They can explain it. So you can say, here's the button you push to listen to this seminar. Here's the button so you can listen to that seminar. And it's very easy. It's very easy to navigate. So consider that. And I strongly would encourage you to consider that because it was real powerful. So the three the 3 reasons why you don't manifest are, number 1, you're not following the steps properly. And in this seminar, I said, look, let's just review what the steps are. What's the formula? And when I reviewed it, people were writing in the chat, oh my God, I've been in the club 9 years. I've listened to level 1 training, level 2, 3, 4, 5. You simplified this so perfectly. I now get it and I see what I was doing wrong. So just that portion of the seminar where it's like, here's the steps, here's the formula to manifest goals, dreams, and desires. This is what you do, and just check it off. So like, did I do step 1? Yes. Did I do step 2? Yes. Did I do step 3? Yes. Did I do step 4? Yes. And then am I doing the other ancillary things? Because there's only really 4 steps. And did I do this, this, this? Just check it off. And if you do that and just check that off every day, you'll manifest. You're doing the things correctly. Then do some of the free things that don't cost you anything to stimulate the hippocampus, make it bigger, decalcify the pineal gland so that you can broadcast less on the slave wave. So now the process or the formula actually works fast. The law of attraction then actually engages. And then the third reason that you're not manifesting is there are energetic blocks in your field. There's 33 areas of blockage that stop people from the windows of heaven opening and blessings to come in. People know this all the time because even if they're applying the techniques perfectly and they said, listen, I put the brain helmet on and I'm broadcasting in theta and I am manifesting, but Kevin, it just seems like it's a struggle. And it seems like if I don't keep the pedal to the metal, if I'm not constantly pushing, then everything kind of falls apart. And that means there's energetic blocks in the field that are really slowing you down and stopping money from coming in. Even if it's working a little bit, it could be working 100 or 1,000 times better. And that's where the money processes come in. So when a person does the money processes, those blocks are gone. And the money just flows. Like I've seen it happen. The money can potentially just pour in when those blocks are released. And that's really the only 3 reasons you're not manifesting. So if you want information on the money process, you can send us an email and we'll give you all the details. And if you come to Chicago to get the money processes, I will take you to dinner personally. And that's not going to be forever. So consider that and check that out. Okay, I'm going to take phone calls in just a minute, but before I do, there's a wonderful thing that we just are having here. It's called Guru Kev. So this is the Guru Kev. Look how big this is. This is all free, by the way. These are the Guru Kev lessons. You go to gurukev.com, and there are all these lessons in here. And they're available at gurukev.com, absolutely free. And what we decided to do was make it beautiful and put it in a beautiful book. This is the first prototype. This is not the final version by any means, but this was the first one. And we have a few extras here. So I'm going to be giving a couple of these away today. So I'm going to sign them and send them to you. This is the pre-edition. So this will be worth a fortune someday. But we will get this in leather bound. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous. And it's almost like a Bible of teaching here. Guru Kev is not a guy wearing a baseball hat. And Guru Kev is not a guy wearing Indian robe. Guru Kev, this is Guru Kev. This is Guru Kev. Now, this is not a computer-generated AI picture. This is me. This is the guy you're talking to right now, Kevin Trudeau. Now, most of the time I'm in a suit and tie on this show, or in a suit. Today I decided to wear something very casual on this show because your eyes deceive you. If I was here with long hair like this, with a dot on my forehead and Indian robes, speaking with my hands like this, going, Om, Om Shama, Om, Om. If I was oming, right? Om JJ Sai Baba. If I was singing some chant, Om Namah Shivaya. If I was doing something from India, you'd say, ooh. And if I wasn't behind a desk, but I was sitting on some pillows with all these flowers around me, you'd say, oh, he's a guru. He must be spiritually enlightened. Well, guess what? You can be spiritually enlightened You can be completely self-realized. You can be established in the oneness that's beyond the veil. And you can look like this. You can look like anything. Your eyes deceive you. When I wrote this, people say, how did you write all the stuff that's in here? I mean, this is like volumes. Do you realize this is all one draft? It's all channeled. I sat and channeled, not into one of the dimensions, like Ramtha, that's a channel from in the dimensions, or Abraham, that's one of the dimensions. I go beyond the veil, and I channel the data, which means I get blocks of thought, and then I translate it into English. So there's one particular Guru Kev lesson, and then I'm going to take phone calls. There's one particular Guru Kev lesson I want to read you just a little bit of, just so you can have an idea of what's inside you. And I'll tell you what's inside you is bliss, joy, and happiness. And all of your dreams coming true. It says here, it has been written that your life can change in an instant. What you used to want, you no longer want. What you want now, you never had any interest in before. Leo Tolstoy made the declaration describing how his life changed in the moment of self-realization. His statement describes the experience that is at the core of enlightenment and the beginning of a more spiritual life. The moment you become aware and conscious of God or infinite intelligence as a living presence within you, everything changes. The moment you experience universal love and connectedness as your very being, you come out of your trance. You become awakened, even if only for a brief moment in time. Until that moment, life is usually mundane, empty, and something seems to be always missing. Normally, we go about our lives eating, sleeping, working, watching TV, mindlessly going through social media and engaging in all types of escapism like alcohol, drugs, sex, food, exercise, and numerous other things that engage our senses. We seek fulfillment in relationships, children, career, achievement, money, sexual and sensual pleasures, as well as attaining material things and partaking in physical experiences. Our life is defined by what we have, our status, and what our senses tell us is pleasurable or painful. Then, for some, a defining moment occurs. It is the instant that grace or a blessing is bestowed on us from what appears to be an outside source and brings to life something from within. This is usually very subtle for most and does not last very long, perhaps only seconds. For that instant, however, everything is different. This moment usually comes at a low point in our lives, a time of distress or despair when you feel helpless and powerless. It comes when we can't hold on anymore and we must let go and let God handle things. It can come when we cry for help or lose our arrogance and pride. It usually comes when we release our attempt to control everyone and everything and surrender, even just for an instant, to some higher power. It comes when we become humble and allow that supreme omnipotent power to take over. It comes when we stop resisting and fighting. The French poet Paul Claudette said, "It was as if I had discovered the second half of the world, the supernatural world. The discovery of America is a small thing next to that." When it happens, we may not know it at the time. But for some reason, we start to feel moved and led to people, organizations, books, audios, events, and courses that are more spiritual in nature. That little spark that ignited within us leads us to circumstances, conditions, and people that will, in time, give us the full experience of awakening. The fact that you are reading this or listening to this now means you are on your way. When you ask someone who has had an experience of receiving this grace or blessing or awakening, about how it has affected their lives, they usually just smile and their face lights up. They talk about a feeling that goes beyond a feeling. They say it is deeper than deep and more profound than could ever be described. They talk about how love became overflowing from within, a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding, completely engulfed them. Feelings of certainty, knowingness, and lightness permeated their entire being, and they felt expansion, oneness, and connectedness in a more complete way than they could ever imagine. When grace is in your life on a consistent basis, everything works. Everything flows with ease. You are inspired and confident. You feel the ultimate safety and protection. You know you are loved and that you are loved. There is inner peace that goes beyond anything one can describe. You feel powerful and complete. You know you can create and manifest. You have certainty about your divine right of dominion and authority over your life. Grace is that power that frees us. It liberates us. It illuminates us. It gives us complete fulfillment and satisfaction. It makes fear vanish. It gives us the complete knowingness and security that everything is okay. When you are bathed in grace, you feel guided, that you are living under the protection of divine providence by a loving, personal, benevolent force and power that is pure light and unconditional love. Many times, a person will experience this grace for just a moment. They may taste its bliss only briefly. They might know only just a hint of its awesome power. Most people only get a small glimpse of grace at first. If and when you do, you may feel something and know there is more within, but it might only be in a very subtle way. Other people will experience a complete change in their lives the moment they experience grace. Their life will turn upside down. Everything will change in an instant because the person's perspective has radically changed when this grace has been bestowed upon them by the divine. Grace, or blessings, or awakening, is called different things in each religious tradition. Every religious tradition has something that could be called grace, and they all refer to it with reverence and awe. Grace is the power that reveals the inner secrets of the universe. It allows us to see and know the divine and realize that God dwells within us as us. This act of revelation, known as grace, and transference of this energy is called Shaktipat in the East. Literally, this ancient Sanskrit word means the descent of divine energy. A person can receive this descent of divine energy in many ways. Reading a book, attending an event, meeting a holy person, prayer or meditation, engaging in a religious rite or ceremony or ritual, or simply asking the universe or God for his blessings. When you receive grace, you actually become aware of the grace that is already within us. When this happens, a person usually develops an interest in things other than just the material. A person may start searching for something more, usually something spiritual. Without an awareness of God within us, a person does not even want to hear about anything spiritual or godly or holy or about universal consciousness, oneness, awareness, self-realization, and love. If you question the meaning of life, if you think there is something more to life, if you feel there is more to life than just making money or setting goals and attaining them, then you probably have had the spark of grace within you. Again, the fact that you are reading this or listening to this now means that you have. When this spark of grace grows and becomes more intense and significant in your life, then you are automatically led to a particular master, a perfected being or a saint. This person is usually called a guru in the East. A guru is a person who is the grace-bestowing power of God. This power is residing in a human body that has complete awareness and consciousness of this fact. Although millions around the world are self-realized beings, fully enlightened, very few are actual gurus whose mission, calling, and purpose on earth is to bestow this grace to others in the role of a public, holy person figure. We all have this grace-bestowing power of God, but a complete, enlightened, self-realized being is fully conscious of this fact, experiences it on a consistent state of being, and is one with it. This is a master, or a perfected being. A guru is a master who also has the divine karma to be a public holy person whose job is it to share this gift of grace with many people. Few have this divine calling and karma. The guru becomes for us a source of grace. The guru can awaken us, thus making us more conscious. The guru can bring in life the dormant energy and spiritual power within us. For many, Christ, Jesus, is the guru in their lives without using the word guru. One does not have to use the word guru to describe this perfected being and bestowing of grace. When someone lives under the protection of the grace of a guru, or Christ, Jesus for believers, we feel like we are in a protective bubble. We actually are. In the East, this is sometimes called a Buddha field. Attaching oneself and plugging into what appears to be an outside source of this grace is the way, in the beginning, to stay aligned with this grace and remain under the protection of this grace. This is why people seem to become devoted to a physical living guru, a perfected being whose unique purpose is to be a public holy person, or the risen Christ. When a person is simply reading or hearing their words, looking at a photo of them, thinking about them, or being in their physical presence, that enlightened master continually bestows grace on the individual. Like a cleansing fire, an enlightened master's grace also activates the person's own light from within to shine so brightly that old karma, emotional and mental impurities, and negative energy are all burned away forever. Reading this, for many of you, will be an aha moment. You may be having a major cognition right now. You may be realizing now what has actually been happening in your life. You may now understand more about the teachings in The Science of Personal Mastery course, the Success Mastery course, the Guru Kev lessons, and the Nuggets of Gold training. You might be able to see how all the puzzle pieces fit together. This is just the beginning, my friends. The best is yet to come for all of you. Open yourself to the grace and love that is being bestowed on you right now. It is real. It is authentic. It is genuine. And it is more powerful than you could ever imagine. May you now never be the same. With much love, Guru Kev. This is a powerful bunch of lessons, and it's all free at gurukev.com. And I'm going to give this book away here for some of you who call up. I got a couple of them, and I'm going to give some away. So I hope you're feeling something right now, because all of your dreams can come true. Everything you want in life, you can have. You can have bliss and happiness and joy, the relationship of your dream. You can wake up thinking, I love my life. You can go to bed at night thinking, I love my life. This is like a dream come true. You can have it all, man. You can have it all. You can have the health, the wealth, and the happiness and joy. It's within you. And I'm talking from not what I know, but what I know. Not what I know about, but what I know from experience. I live it every single day. And I can take you there. Just take my hand, and I'll take you to a place that you don't even know exists. Let's go to the phone lines, shall we? What do you think? I gotta put on my headphones here so I can actually hear people. So I'm gonna look like I'm on the radio. So this is the Kevin Trudeau Show. We're taking calls. Do we have any callers here yet? All right, let's take the first call. Hi, I'm Kevin. You're live on the air.
Hey, Master Kevin. This is Amit speaking from Canada. It's a pleasure to speak to you today. My question is on how we can overcome financial adversity and tips on how we can move up the score on our graph daily, per se.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling. Two good questions. First one is, how do we overcome adversity? Adversity comes into our life for several reasons. Number one, we create it. We either created it in this lifetime or we created it in past lifetimes. It's called karma. But the universe doesn't do things to us. It does things for us. So what we think is adversity is an opportunity, and it's always a gift. So when we have adversity come into our life, and let's define adversity, something that we don't want to happen. Do you react or do you respond? When the adversity comes in, it will trigger something in your field, a samskara, an energetic imprint, which will make you have an uncontrollable and irrational emotion. This is your opportunity to transmute that energy once and for all and have it leave your field. Thus, it's how you respond to adversity versus how you react to adversity. Earl Nightingale said successful people are not people without problems. They're simply people who overcome their problems. In other words, they've overcome adversity. So when adversity comes in, it's how you respond versus how you react. This is taught at length in the Success Mastery course and the Science of Personal Mastery course. And there's many lessons in the Guru Kev lessons for free. If you can't afford any of that, just go to gurukev.com and you'll see the lessons on how to overcome and deal with adversity. The second question is how to move up my stats in my life. How do I start looking at my graphs, which I'm managing my life with statistics, and I'm looking at my graph. Maybe it's sales, or maybe it's, pounds lost, or whatever your goal you're shooting, you're graphing it, and you want to make that graph go up. The graph is in the physical universe, which means it's in theta. So when you broadcast with the hippocampus on the theta bandwave, and you actually see that graph moving up, and you physically say with your mouth, not it will move up, but it is moving up, or even stated in present tense, that number is blank right now because you collapse time. That's how you move it up, by moving the energy. And this is what we look, in 10 minutes, I can't teach it to you. I'm just telling you how it works. But somebody asked me one time, why does everything cost money? Kevin, why do you charge for this stuff? Why is everything money? You got the Success Mastery course that costs money. You have to become a member of GIN, that costs money. You have to be a partner in your fan club, that costs money. Yeah, $25 a month, and you get a 2 or 3 hour seminar once a month, plus all the other benefits. Yeah, it's. Wait a minute, what do you mean? Oh, am I supposed to give it to you for free? Okay, you go to McDonald's, and do you walk in and go, I'd like a cheeseburger? Hey, why are you charging me money for the cheeseburger? How come it's not free? I mean, are you the dumbest person on the planet? Are you completely retarded? Stay broke, loser. You have to have what's called an equal exchange in life. And if you don't do an exchange, you're not going to get anything in your life. And if you have this give me, give me, give me attitude that you're entitled to a handout, you're a loser. That's called loser broke mentality. Don't yell at me. That's the universe. I just channeled that. That wasn't even me talking. I don't even know what the hell I said. What did I say? It just came out. Because I am Guru today. I'm wearing that hat. It's my divine karma. So I hope that answers your question. Let's go to the phone lines. I won't yell at you if you call. I'll be nice to you. I'll just yell at the people that write stupid comments. By the way, the people that write comments, I read them all. And you show how dumb you are. To everybody, I'm reading them going, all right, this guy is telling the world that he has a low IQ and he's a complete moron. I love it. Hi, you're live on the air. I'm Kevin.
Hi.
Hey, turn
Hi,
down
Kevin.
turn down your turn down your radio or something. There's feedback.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, now go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing, everything you gave me, all the trials you have in your life, and thank you for that too, because I don't think without those I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now.
Good.
My question is, I have this goal that I feel that's kind of focused on negative, like kind of big, but to end the whole hunger. But I feel like saying that is focusing on hunger. So I was thinking of saying actually fulfilling the humanity's requirements of food and water. I think, what's your thoughts about that, or
Okay,
what should I focus on? Yeah.
This is a great question. Thanks for calling, because a lot of people have, we'll call them bigger goals that are outside themselves. So this is one of them, right? So if you have a large goal and somebody says, I want to stop war, I want to stop poverty, I want to stop hunger, I want to stop violence, I want to stop discrimination. Time out. What you resist persists. So the first thing is, none of those things will ever happen in your lifetime anyway. So you are delusional trying to think, I want to stop all wars on planet Earth. So number one, the goal is a delusional goal. Secondly, your goal should not be to stop anything, because that's resisting what is. I want to increase peaceful living amongst people around the planet. I want to increase the number of people that are well fed. Do you understand that? This is critical. If this is one of the procedures in the formula that people miss. If you want to reduce hunger, reduce homelessness, you're focusing on hunger and homelessness, it's not going to change. I want to help people get into better living conditions rather than I want to stop homelessness. So there's a couple things about setting these goals. Number one, you can't set a goal that's impossible. For example, if you say, I want to stop all violence on the planet, that's my goal, or I want to stop I want to make sure there's no hungry people anywhere on the planet. That is an impossible goal, because from the beginning of humanity, there have been people that have been hungry. From the beginning of humanity, with Cain and Abel, there has been murder, there's been violence, there has been wars and conflict. It's never going to change, but perhaps it can be reduced. But you can't focus on the conflict or the hunger or the homelessness or any of these negative things. You have to want to increase something. This is why someone says, stop hate. No. Increase love. I want to increase love and compassion in the world. Now, that's a beautiful goal. And if you get one more person to have compassion, one more person to get a decent meal, you're achieving your goal. So now you have a goal that's not delusional, that's wonderful and beautiful, and will start to manifest. So anytime you're working on a big goal like that, those are the two basic parameters. Number one, it can't be delusional. It's got to be framed in a positive way. And focus, the third thing is focus on one person at a time. Just one person at a time. I would encourage anybody who has a thought of poverty or hunger or clean water, focus in your backyard and in your neighborhood within a 100-mile radius. There's people right there. You don't have to go around the world. You can focus right there. that will create an energetic shift that'll start helping the whole planet. And it's a beautiful thing you're doing. Much love, much love. Let's go to the next caller. Okay, next caller, you are on the line. I'm Kevin. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, KT. Hey, KT. My name is David. I'm calling from Florida.
Great. You have a question or a comment?
I'm a huge fan. Yeah, absolutely. So I was in the organization for a long time, about, 2 years. Went through all the Your Wish is Your Command, the 4 basics, completely changed my life. One thing that kind of started getting me a little away from the organization was the teachability index, having a 10 out of 10, willingness to accept change and willingness to learn. My whole thing is I grew up Christian and Pentecostal Christian, where we believe sin takes you directly to hell. So I had trouble pretty much getting down with that idea, just because I couldn't just accept any kind of change if it didn't align with my moral views and compass and religion. So my question is, have you ever navigated that? I know you were in organizations before that I'm sure that's not allowed to have. And second, what is your relationship with God, and how does that influence your life?
Okay,
Sorry for the two-part.
No, that's great. Couple good questions. First off, I come from a Christian background, both Catholicism as well as we'll call it the Pentecostal or evangelical movement. Some of you may know names like Oral Roberts, who I knew, Kenneth Hagin, Reverend Kenneth Hagin, who I knew. These were faith healers. They believed in the Bible as literal, and they would put hands on people and heal them. Pat Robertson, I knew at Christian Broadcasting Network. Tammy Faye Baker, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. I had Tammy Faye on one of my shows. They started PTL Network, and they had Heritage USA, big Christians. Kenneth Copeland, Reverend W.V. Grant. These are big evangelical Christians. Jerry Savelle, et cetera, et cetera. So I knew a lot of these guys and studied this. In terms of the Bible, I'm very well versed, and also I read the Quran multiple times. I've read the Indian text, the Vedas, as well as the Ramayana and Mahabharata, or Mahabharata. The Kabbalah, the Zohar in mysticism of Judaism, also the mysticism in Islam. So there's a lot of stuff that I've read, and then that's just, and even more. I'm going to do something here coming up, and if you want me to do it, I will. But I was thinking about actually taking Bible verses and showing you how they're translated. Most Christians pick up one Bible and they say, it says here, this, an eye for an eye. Okay, but it also says over here, if somebody hits you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. So which one? These are completely opposite biblical directives. One says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And one whole set says you cut off a guy's hand if he does this, and if he does that, you penalize him this way, an eye for an eye. Then in another part of the Bible, it says if somebody smacks you, turn the other cheek and let him hit the other cheek too. Do not retaliate at all. Forgive everyone 100%. So which one is it? So the bottom line is, I'm not here to preach, and I'm not here to try to convert you, and nor am I here to try to change your religious beliefs. I'm here to encourage you to follow a path that you feel good about, follow a teaching that is creating positive results in your life. And whatever that is, man, I'm with you 100%. It can be the Global Information Network teachings. It can be the Guru Kev teachings. It can be Self-Realization Fellowship. It can be a Christian teachings. It can be Catholicism. It can be Orthodox Judaism. It can be Reform Judaism. It can be Hinduism. It can be Kashmir Shaivism. It can be Jainism. It can be Shinto in Japan. It can be Zen Buddhism. I'm not judging or condemning or criticizing any of these religious traditions. Whatever you want to do is 100% okay with me. One thing I will say, there's nothing in the teachings that I have that go against any Christian principle, any Jewish principle, any Islamic principle, or any principle in any of the Hindu text. Nothing. It's all in alignment, 100%. That's why we have born-again Christians in our teachings, as well as Muslims, Orthodox Jews. You know, I have guys over the house, we have Shabbat dinner, and they're wrapping tefillin. They're Orthodox Jews, and there's nothing that's controversial in any of the teachings. But look, it's not for everybody. And whatever you feel comfortable with, you know your situation better than I do, then follow it. My only objective for you is that you increase everything in your life that you want. Increase the quality of living, your standard of living, your quality of life, and most importantly, increase your connectedness to God or universal consciousness. If you're not seeing results, which means you're not feeling better, feeling more at peace, more secure, more love, more compassion, then maybe what you're doing isn't working. So you're looking for tangible results in life, no matter what track you're on, and those results are an increased quality of life, however you define it, increased standard of living, however you define it, and an increased inner joy, peace, bliss, and happiness, where you don't have uncontrollable, irrational emotions. Isn't that what you're looking for? Better health, happiness, joy. So think about that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Who is our next lucky caller? All right, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes. You are live on the air. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Kevin.
That's okay.
Okay, my name's Angel, and the reason why I'm calling is because I tend to have a lot of problems with trying to finish the things that I start. I think it might be procrastination. I get excited, I start projects, I start business, like wholesaling, but then all of a sudden, halfway through it, I get a little bit scared or something, and I start to think that maybe I'm not capable, or I don't have enough knowledge about the subject, and I just don't complete it. I don't finish it, and I'm sick of doing that. I'm joining gym today. I want to make sure that I follow as much of your teachings. I'd love to get that signed book from you today if that's possible, but
you asked.
I know
you
that I have
asked.
the capability.
You just asked. Ask and you shall receive. I was waiting for somebody to ask for it. Okay, so you got it. And that's number two.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I was just sitting here waiting. I got it right here, waiting for somebody to say, "I want that." How do I win or something? So stay on the line.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, you're going to get this for free, but stay with me because I got a couple of questions for you. So I'm looking in your field.
Okay.
And you get excited about something. You want to attain something. You want to achieve something. So you start something, like you set a goal, like, you kind of get out of your comfort zone and say, hey, I want more money, or I want this, or I want to achieve this. Let me start taking some action steps to making that happen. You get to that point, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then you're feeling good. And then once you start taking some steps, all of a sudden I see doubt comes in. Am I good enough? Do I have what it takes? Am I going to fail? Am I wasting my time? Am I going to lose money? Right? Okay. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I can see this, and I'm going to do something for you because I'm going to explain to everybody who's watching how this works and what happens. So stay with me on the line here. We have in our DNA from our parents and our ancestors, I mentioned personality traits and physical traits. If you're going bald, you got it from your parents. It's in their line. If you're prone to diabetes, it's genetic. If you're tall, it's genetic. If you're short, it's genetic. If you're skinny as a rail and have a hard time putting on weight, it's genetic. If you have a hard time losing weight and you blow up like a balloon all the time, most of the time it's you have a genetic disposition for that. That's how it works. But also success and fears and phobias are genetic as well. So I want you to imagine, and by the way, for those of you who are Christians, this is in the Bible. It talks about how the sins of the father are passed down through 7 generations. And it goes on to explain how this works. This is why throughout history, if you had a criminal in your lineage, that means you had the criminality gene. If you had a lot of successful military people in your heritage, you had military genes. If you had artists in your lineage, you had the genes to become a good artist or to be a good athlete. Whatever was in your lineage, you have these genes. You also have genes for fears, decisions, postulates. So what happens is if somebody in your mother's line, let's start with the mother's line. So your mother or her parents or their parents, if somebody in there basically, let's say, tried to do something and failed miserably and got a lot of pain, they then have in their field, I'll never try this again. This was a big mistake. And they'll start beating themselves up, putting postulates into their own mind, such as, I'm a loser. I don't have what it takes. I never succeed at anything. So they're programming themselves with those energies. Then they have children. Now the children have a part of that energy in their DNA. Just like if one of your grandparents was super successful, you'd have that energy in your DNA too. So when you have this energy, and this is one of the energetic blocks that are in the money processes. There are 33 of these. This is common. What you're experiencing is not uncommon. And I handle some of this in the Global Information Network. There's a whole training I did on the cruise ship where I go through. All you have to do is listen to the training, and it's most people have a hard time starting a project, or they have a hard time finishing a project. They always bail out too quick. They can't follow up and follow through. They can't complete a task. They can't complete a cycle. So since you're joining Jinn, you'll be able to get access to all that free. But I'm just going to go into your fields right now, and you may notice something in your physical body, or you may notice an emotion come up. If something does, let me know. What I'm doing is I'm looking at your mother, and I'm looking at your mother's parents, and I'm looking in the field on 33 different dimensions, and I'm looking for this fear of failure, which is the energy that you're expressing. So I'm looking for fear of failure, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm seeing 6 individuals in your lineage that tried something and failed and experienced great emotional pain because of it. And so it's in your field from your mother. So I am now going there and I'm neutralizing that energy. And I'm just going,
Wow.
I'm going into, you can probably feel something in maybe your feet are getting hot or something. Okay, so now,
Yes.
Yeah, right? Okay.
It was my mother.
Yeah, I could see it. It's clear as a bell. All right, so now let me go to your father, and I'm looking at your father, and I'm looking at your father's parents, both mother and father, and their parents, and I'm going back, and I'm also looking for any type of fear of failure or what's causing them to question themselves. So on this lineage, it isn't fear of failure. The energy that I see very clearly is low self-confidence. This may resonate with you. Low self-confidence, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. And
My father was small in stature,
There you
and
go.
he didn't think too much of himself.
there you go. So I mean, I can see it as clear as a bell. And so let me clear this up. Oh, you may feel some tingling in your body as things are shifting.
It's around my hands and my arms.
Yeah. Okay. So now your constitutional frequency has just been changed. So now you still have the habit yourself. And so what the next thing we do is we go into your bank, your memories from this lifetime and beyond, and we handle all of the postulates, decisions, contracts, agreements that you put in, any samskara that's there, any reoccurring pattern of thought that needs to be corrected. But you can do this with will, because think about it. There are people all around the world 100 years ago that started with nothing, that had a lot of junk in their field. They had poverty consciousness, and they still became ridiculously successful. How did they do it? They did it by willpower. They made a decision, and they did it because they had to. If you look at people that became very successful, they were in such an unpleasant state in the beginning, usually so poor and so desperate and so destitute, and they needed to help their family, or maybe they were very young and their parents were poor. There was so much pain going on that they needed to succeed. So let me tell you, and everybody watching, what the 3 steps are. If you have a wish for something, nothing will happen, because we call it wishful thinking. There's no energy behind a wish. If you want something, you're never going to get it, because you have an energy of lack. And the universe will provide circumstances, events, conditions, people, and situations where you are always wanting but never having. But once you need something, just like you need to breathe, when it becomes a need, an absolute need, a must, there is no option. I must have this. I have to have this. I need to have this. The energy is so strong, that's when you can focus on what you clearly, absolutely want. You can see it with clarity, but it's not a want, it's not a wish, it's a need. And that is when the energy is so strong that you will broadcast on a theta wave. And when you put that out into the universe on the theta wave, you will be driven. You will be motivated. You will be inspired, because there's something behind you pushing you to do it. Something within you that's pushing you. But it's almost like there's something behind you pushing you to do it. And you can overcome any low self-esteem, low self-confidence, lack of belief in yourself. You don't deserve it. You're not worthy. It overcomes. So I'm going to give you one last thing to do. When you join the club, you're going to get the self-image lessons. Make sure you go through that. That's going to change everything for you. But
I will.
And this is something that everybody can do. You have to repeat verbally every day. This is an affirmation that you can do. It'll change one of the core elements of succeeding, and that is, do you believe, do you have confidence in, do you have a knowingness that you deserve what you're seeking? Or do you think you are unworthy, that you don't deserve it, that you're not good enough? All wealthy people have a feeling that they deserve that best seat in the house. They deserve the money. They deserve to help other people. They deserve to be safe. They deserve love. They deserve acknowledgement. They deserve respect. They deserve it. It's owed to them. They deserve it. And the universe then delivers. Unsuccessful people never feel worthy and never feel deserving. So the affirmation that you can say are things like, I deserve money. I deserve to be safe. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to have my dreams coming true. I deserve to achieve my goals. I deserve success. I deserve a good lifestyle. I deserve a great relationship. I deserve to have fun. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healthy. You with me? So you keep saying that.
Absolutely.
And that's going to, and I put that out with a lot of energy, so you may have felt that as well. So
Oh my God, I was ready to fly.
good. It works. It's real.
Oh my God.
It's real. All right, so stay on the line. William's going to get all your contact details, and I'm going to sign this right after the show, and we'll send it right out to you today.
Please, Kevin. And by the way, I've waited for so many years for you to be able to be released. I've prayed for you, and I bought your wishes, your command years ago. I went through 14 hours instantly, but I know I've got to join Ken.
Cool beans. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations. Very nice to talk to you. Thanks for calling. All right, everyone. Well, Wednesday is our next show. What am I going to talk about? Well, I'll tell you this. I am going to give away some more books. William's over there going, oh no, do we have books? We got a couple. I saw them out there. Okay. I am going to take your phone calls. I am going to look in the comments and see what subjects you want to talk about. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the little bell button so that you get notifications. Binge watch all the previous shows. If you watch them, man, there's life-changing information, and it's all for free. It's all for free on this channel, all for free at gurukev.com, all for free at nuggetsofgold.com. You got plenty of free stuff. I give you tons of stuff for free. And if you want to take it to the next level, you become a partner in the fan club. You get a live Zoom with me, ask me questions once a month, or become a member in the Global Information Network for those of you who really are serious and want to take it to the next level of success. I hope you enjoyed that little grace lesson I gave. The Guru Kev lessons that I wrote, I tap directly into the field. So everything you get there, you can feel the energy come off the page. Just by reading it, you get the grace of the Guru, and it will change you forever. May you never be the same, my friends. And remember, don't let anyone steal your dreams. Much love. See you Wednesday.